Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Probate Judge Christina J. Peterson. I, unlike a lot of others, have never spoken at a BOC meeting. And I have a lot of notes because I have a lot of things to cover. I'm going to try not to take up all of your day and all of your time. I've gone 3 years without speaking. 3 years of silence. I got tired of not speaking like Madam Coroner. And I feel like it's a lot of stuff I want to speak about today, and I hope you'll hear me. I know we have new commissioners, and a lot of my comments are not directly to you all, but you are current serving. I'm grateful that you're here. As well as Vice Chair who's been here. There's been 3 years of a lot of lies. There's been 3 years of a lot of rumors, misinformation to the public that has come from whatever rumor mill, come from Facebook, come from Fox 5, come from my counterparts that were my peers here at the county, just spreading all type of lies. In the end, the truth will reveal itself, and it has been revealing. And I'm here to just push forward the truth a little quicker, if we will. I'm okay. I've been okay with the lies. I've been okay with the complaints, the JQC complaints. I've endured those because I know I'm a woman of God and He covers me. So it's always going to work out. So I've been okay with it, and I sat back and allowed it. But I think sometimes it's good to just kind of put the truth on the table. I was in a JQC trial in which, on my last day of trial, I started crying, and I read some comments that people say, oh, those are crocodile tears. She has crocodile tears. I wasn't crying because I wasn't crying because I'm weak, as Madam Coroner stated. I'm crying because I'm tired. I'm tired of not talking. I'm tired of being attacked and everybody else is playing like they're the victim and making me the suspect, what you call it, enemy of the state or Douglas County. But if we're going to call those tears crocodile tears, let me tell you about, I think I can say they might be crocodile. Let's see what a crocodile symbolizes. They symbolize wisdom and the protector and keeper of all knowledge. Crocodiles signifies a new beginning of the term of renewal and growth. So I'll accept those tears. And I'm here to discuss a little further why I'm here. First, I want to address, there was a resolution on the table for attorney's fees. I think that was a good resolution to be brought up by one of the commissioners, because if you're an elected official, you're put in a position in which you're responsible for a lot of things. And in my situation as a judge, I'm not only the judge, but I have a staff. So I'm not only responsible for my actions, I'm also responsible for theirs. So if they do something that against my policy, it still can bring liability to Judge Peterson and the probate. We have to be covered. And in the past, we have politicized. I have been politicized. I always have to, thank God the Board of Commissioners spoke on my behalf because I've never had to talk before today. But it's been politicized. Should we pay? Should we give the judge or attorney? Who needs to pay for those attorney's fees? Why would you think that Christina J. Peterson person should pay for probate judge or probate office attorneys? That makes no sense. So I believe that we do need a resolution, and I don't believe there should be a necessarily cap. I believe there should be no cap. It should be, you should have attorney coverage for whatever you need coverage for. In my instance, I got all of these JQC complaints, and if you've been watching the trial, you'll know most of my complaints came within the county. Your chief judge filed most of those complaints. 50 of those complaints, 30 remained. Before the trial even started, they dismissed 20. While we were in the trial, they're trying to dismiss more. What would have happened if I had to pay that money out of my pocket? It's frivolous, it's malicious, and it's evil. That's what it is. Don't throw rocks and hide your hands. I see that happening a lot in this county. I don't know who's behind it, but I think we'll get to it before the end of the day. But I've been okay. I've sat back. I've been called a thief. I've been accused of stealing, not only from the county, I've been accused of stealing from my HOA. We know that went nowhere. If I was accused of stealing, if I was a thief, I would have been in jail. Y'all know that. Sheriff, I know. You know that. I would have been in jail. It's a false claim, and it's nasty, and I would love for the public and anybody who's spreading that rumor to stop. Now, I retained an attorney recently, myself and some of the other constitutional officers. We didn't retain an attorney to cause dysfunction amongst the county. We didn't get an attorney to sue the county. That's not our intentions. We got an attorney because we're tired of being obstructed. We want to do our job. When I came in this office, when I was elected, I made an oath to this county and to the people. But I said, I'm going to run this office and I'm going to do it ethically. Above reproach is what I said, and I've stood to that. But what I'm saying, everything I've done in this county has been obstructed. Everything I've tried to do in this county has been obstructed. When I tried to get software, it was obstructed. When I tried to get budget, it was obstructed. When I tried to get a salary that was equitable to the other judges, obstructed. When I tried to raise the salaries of get the money to raise the salaries of my people, my clerk, obstructed. Everything from bottom to top. When I tried to get carpet for my office, it was obstructed. When I tried to get an attorney, obstructed. All of these obstructions, every day. I got tired of arguing back and forth with your staff. The problem is, I'm always a professional. I'm a professional. When I email you all for services, I'm always kind and cordial. But once you keep getting pushed back and they're in the way and you're not able to do your job, that's when the notices of intent to sue come. That is not a threat. That is not me being disrespectful. That is me exercising my constitutional rights to the courts. I have that right. You don't lose that right because you become a judge. I have that right. I have to run my court the way I have to run it. And I cannot take the county administration directors obstructing me. So now that I have an attorney, hopefully we don't have any more obstructions. But my attorney's been looking into a lot of things, and he actually told me, he said, Judge, and I don't think he was that committed to me or the representation. You know, he's an attorney, but after he's uncovered a lot of stuff in this county, my attorney said, Judge, you got a story to tell. Huh? You see it. My attorney sees it. He sees something. And I do have a story, and it's going to be told. We need attorney fee resolution without a cap, and that's for civil and criminal, because people in this county are throwing rocks and hiding hands, okay? That's what it is. We didn't have criminal charges on elected officials before whoever here is doing it. It seems like this county, and persons in this county have tried to railroad, this is my opinion. There's been, it appears, railroading of Madam Chair, Henry Mitchell, Tax Commissioner Baker. There was attempted railroading of the coroner with the GBI investigation and the subpoenas and the grand jury, so the special grand jury they had on her, that I was representing her at that time. Now, did I leave anybody out? Oh, now we got Judge Peterson. Oh, I forgot. Commissioner Robinson. There was another attempt. So we need that attorney fee, because what's happening is when you get an opportunity to weaponize and politicize who you can help and who you can't look me in the face and say I'm not. It's nothing against you, Judge Peterson. It's not personal. It's personal. It's something. Now, it might not be race. It might not be gender. It might not be generation. But it's something, because I don't get the same coverage as everyone else. Why is it a conversation when it comes to me? Why is it a conversation when it comes to the coroner? Why is it a conversation when it comes to the tax commissioner? But everybody else gets covered for years. For the history of Douglas County, everyone has gotten coverage. It's never publicized. It was never on the news. It wasn't on the Douglas County Sentinel, who loves to post me, right? It hasn't been on Fox 5. Everybody's been covered. It ain't right. And I'm going to say that the way I said it. It ain't right. And I have proper grammar, but when it needs to be said that way, I want everybody to hear it. It's not right. Okay? Since we're talking about attorney's fees, I want to go into the allegations against me. There has been I believe, word on the street that I have perhaps done something criminal with my budget, a misspending of my budget. My question here today, there was, I believe I saw on Fox 5, there were allegations that I use my budget for personal expenses. They say car insurance, things like that. And as you all know, I'm a constitutional officer. That's one. As you all know, you give me my budget under line items. As you all know, those line items include travel and car allowance. As you all know, I requested my budget as I was told to request it. I got personal training from Rosalind Miller. As you know, the budget was approved by the prior Board of Commissioners that included a travel and car allowance. I was able to use my budget for that just matter in 2022 with no problems. It was processed by your clerk of this board. It was processed by your purchasing. It was purchased by your finance. Now in 2023, I'm a criminal. How is that? I had a conversation with your county directors. I had Rosalind Miller there. I had your purchasing. I had HR. I had purchasing finance. I had your chief of staff, Tiffany Stewart Stanley. I asked Director Corbin or David Corbin to come. I've never gotten a response from him, any email, not once. I didn't even know he existed. But I had a meeting with them in regards to this same matter. And I said, now how is it you're not processing my requisition for this item? And I was told, well, you don't have a car allowance. And I said, excuse me, what? And it was, well, you don't have a car allowance. I said, no, let me understand. You got the budget that you emailed to me, and it says travel car allowance. And she said, yeah, and this was Director Miller. You have it. I said, so did I duly request my travel car allowance? She said, yes, you did it right. I said, was it duly approved by the board? She said, yes, that was right. So what do you mean I don't have it? What do you mean? Whatever's going on in this county and these come as you go rules that people are making up in order to try to railroad and call people criminals is unacceptable. My question to you all today is, who's behind it? Who here? Because for it to be picked up by the GBI and ever be considered to go anywhere, somebody from this administration had to say, she's doing something illegal. I have 3 years of spending in this county, and you all have come back with nothing. I know you done checked everything. You've come back with nothing but what you all said was a car allowance. So who is behind this administration that's saying, I've done something? Who can stand here today? My attorneys reached out, and since we're talking about resolution, my attorney reached out and asked for a resolution in order for the Douglas County to acknowledge, number one, that I was given a car allowance, and that's part of my budget. It's part of my authority under my budget line item. He also asked you to acknowledge certain other things, and we were told by your county attorney that he won't advise it because it would undermine the GBI's case. Well, the question, are you worried about getting a GBI case, or are you worried about getting to the truth? What we doing, county attorney?
Well, I'm going to let you finish, but I will tell you I never made reference to GBI's case, ever.
Ever? Okay.
In that correspondence.
Okay. All right, but you did tell my attorney you wouldn't. You advised the board against it.
I'm going to let you finish, then I'll respond.
But I'm giving you your time. I want to make sure. I want communication dialogue.
I did say I would advise against that resolution. I said it then, and I said it today, because the resolution was in effect saying that the county was responsible for the expense, but I didn't think that was the case.
Okay.
And I didn't think it was an appropriate resolution for the county. I wouldn't advise it. I don't really want to engage in a conversation.
And you know, thank you for that. I don't think that's what the resolution was asking, to say the county was responsible. It was stating the facts. The facts are, I requested, it was approved, it was utilized. It's been utilized before with no issues. Now you're coming up with some new policy and you're saying I've done some type of violation. To acknowledge that. Are you saying no?
I'm saying that I have not accused you of any violation or anything.
Well, it's out there. So how would you feel? And I want to pose this question to the people of Douglas County, the citizens of Douglas County. How would you feel if you've always been a high performer, a woman of God. You might not even believe in the Lord. Whatever your moral compass is, to be accused of a crime when you know you haven't done anything. Where did David Corbin go? Is that who it was? Because you all were not here. This was happening before you got here. The only denominator is the administrator. And another thing, the only common denominator is the administrator, who I've never talked to, who's never had a conversation with me, his sentiments about me is probably the same sentiments that Judge Emerson had for me. Judge Emerson said on the stand under oath, he's never talked to me and never will. That's how your county administrator is treating me. And now we have some type of GBI allegation swirling around. I read the Facebook comments. When the commissioners were removed, you got 30 people in this county that say, get Robinson next, get Peterson next, get Coroner next. Hold on. You don't make up criminal charges. You can't weaponize the GBI, the Attorney General, the JQC. You can't weaponize these agencies to overwrite the will of the voters. This county elected me. This county elected the coroner. The county elected the tax commissioner. Don't let 30 people, 30 malicious, frivolous people make your rulings, because that's how we've been treated in this county. It's 30 people. I would say no more than 30. It's 30 people on Facebook that got negative stuff to say. But the majority of this county, they support me. They support my office. They support the probate. They love my office. They love my staff. They love me. They come, they talk to me. And even the people who didn't or who prejudged me, guess what? When they come to my courtroom or they come, wow, judge, I didn't know you were, you can't judge people before you talk to them. And I've allowed the lies to circulate throughout this county for 3 years, and even before then. But I didn't have a microphone. I appreciate the opportunity to get this microphone today. But I did pose a question, and I wonder if we have an answer. Because my attorney has reached out to the GBI. My attorney has reached out to the Attorney General and said, hey, we would like to talk to you and provide information. We haven't gotten any responses back. I believe what's happening is you're allowing this GBI allegation to swirl over my head to muddy my reputation. It's unacceptable. Who from this administration can say I've done something criminal with my budget? Is there a purchasing or a finance that said I've done anything criminal with my budget? That I spent something I wasn't supposed to spend? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking because obviously somebody's talking behind the scenes, because it wouldn't even got to a GBI subpoena without somebody telling them it was wrong. But in my conversations with them, they're telling me it was right. That's unacceptable. Don't railroad me. I was talking to my supporters. Have to watch this. They watch me on the news. One of my people said, it sounds like there's a public lynching in Douglasville. He was referring to me. I'm not gonna be up there. It's not happening. So I would ask for my commissioners to adopt a resolution that acknowledges the fact that I requested a budget that included the travel and car allowance, and it was approved. And that was how it was utilized, so nothing there would have been criminal. Now, if there's other things that I don't know as a probate judge, internal policies that you all have on how y'all want to make our allowances, I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't be privy unless you told me. But don't accuse me of being a criminal. If you have a policy that I don't know about, how would I know? Whose job is to do it? It's not probate. I did what I was requested. I requested my budget. It was approved. I used it. And you have not been able to look at my budget and see any other things that of a concern unless you're trying to make one. You haven't been able to get me down with the JQC complaints. It's going nowhere, okay? I'm learning, but I have not done anything intentional. I haven't done anything criminal. I haven't done anything malicious. All right? So that's what I would ask. I would ask for you to consider that. Now let's talk about my budget. When I asked for my budget, and I want to point out a point that why is it that every time we have these conversations?
Point of order.
Yes.
I want you to get it all out, but we do have to go into executive session.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you if you could just tell us what you need it for,
budget.
And then we'll consider it.
Correct. With the budget, every time we get to these conversations, it seems like it's the same people having to come before you. It seems like some people's stuff just rolls and others are not. It seems to be the same three people: tax commissioner, coroner, and probate. So in my budget, I see that mostly it looks right of what I requested. However, there was a recommended decrease of $13,400 and something. And then, as I stated previously, and I contacted and been in communications with your finance, you all raised the salaries for my staff, but you didn't put the money back in the budget. Like you took it from what I had. And so that, again, that will draw away from the other opportunities of positions that I have. So in essence, it was 30 with your raises that you gave. It was about 30,000, and that wasn't restored in my budget. And then I asked for the same budget last year, just with some reallocations, but the proposal was, I think, negative 13,798. I would like that restored, plus that 30,000 that was not put back. So it would be 45 kind of thousand in all, but the real number, like I said, 13,798 was what they left off. And I couldn't input that because that's the finance that was coming over from the salaries and benefits. And then the raises that we're giving, that my budget wasn't restored, the exact number was 29,232.01. So $29,232.01. I would like that. It's necessary. Even though we didn't necessarily utilize my entire budget this year, as you can see, as I explained to this county in the constitutional officer retreat, I have no legal support. There is no class of court in the history of Georgia that doesn't have legal support. I am the only person, I'm the only attorney in my office. Every other probate judge in District 3 probates, which includes all the Metro Atlanta courts, they're all Article 6 like myself. All of them have associate judges. All of them have staff attorneys. I'm the only one who is just me. Just me. I need to get people. You get people complaining on Facebook saying, well, it takes her 1,000,000 years to, it's just me. So last week, or couple of weeks ago, when I had the first jury trial in Douglas County in probate, guess who has to sign the orders when I'm in court all week? Nobody. I'm the only one that can do it. So I need that money to staff my office. A staff attorney is the first opportunity, but like I said, I can make it work with what I have. We have jury trial. I didn't know that the clerk of Superior Court, she's not funding my jurors. So when she impaneled them for me, and I'm grateful for her services, but she made me pay her back to pay the jurors. So that's an expense of the probate. So I want you to look at the data I have provided. Stop listening to people's opinion, because as you said, as they testified under oath, I know nothing about probate or their function. I'm telling you, we have more cases than any other court in this courthouse. Well, me. So I need staff. I need support. And I also made a salary request, and I stand on that for myself. I stand on that. And it looks like it might be considered, not sure. I know the tax commissioner asked for his, and it hasn't been mentioned, but I stand on that. It's very important. Don't say I don't do work. I'm overworked. I told my staff that I would be speaking today, and their question was, they want to know, has the administration always felt this way about probate? Or was it just when I got in office? Because they feel like you don't value them. That's my staff. That's what they're saying. We value arresting people and locking people up, but we don't value when people lose their families, their loved ones, and guardianships and conservatorships. We don't value those services. We don't value a chaplain for the coroner's office for them to pray, somebody to pray for these families. But they can have a chaplain at the jail, the inmates can, but the families of Douglas County can't. It doesn't make sense. So I'm asking today for my budget as I requested, plus the amount that was not restored. I'm asking for everything I asked at the constitutional officer retreat, with all due respect, and I'm asking for you to include probate in 1 Douglas. Any questions? Thank you all.